I'm going to launch To-Go on my mobile device. Based on my profile and what I have selected as my favorite application, To-Go will securely connect to a To-Go server, in this case in Frankfurt, and auto-launch the top favorite application. In this case, it's a Java-based ERP application that has lots of customization in it. And for the record, it's located in the UK. Now we'll come back to this application in a minute. First, let's talk about the toolbar. The toolbar is intelligent and will auto-close itself to give the user full screen control of the application that they're using. However, it can also be pinned to the screen and stay available should the user prefer that. The toolbar is easily available by a swipe from the left side of the screen. So let's start with the Applications button. Here are all the applications that I have been granted access to and are available to me. I can simply swipe up and down to identify and then launch any specific one. So let's quickly open up a series of different applications. Some of these are pretty significant applications that normally require lots of horsepower to run. They may be Flash-based applications, Java applications, Silverlight. To date, we have yet to have an application that we couldn't run with To-Go. They can also be full-featured Office applications. Now let's say that there is one application in particular that I would like to have and be available to me as part of my favorites. To make that application one of my favorites, I simply long press on the application icon and then tap Add to Favorites. You'll see that going forward, that a star will be appended to any application icon that I've selected as a favorite. What this has done is simply mark this application to be part of my favorites list. This is particularly helpful when a user is granted access to lots of applications. Now, in my favorite applications, I can affect the order of my favorites list. If you remember, when the To-Go application initially launched, it launched with this same ERP application that is on the top of this list. So any application that I put at the top of the list will be the enterprise application that To-Go will automatically start with when it initiates. So if I want a different application to be my starting application, I simply long press on the application icon and push it to the top of the list. Additionally, if I want to remove any application from my favorites, when I long press, I can select to remove it. So since we began, we've been opening up a series of different applications, and as we use To-Go, we might need to quickly get back to or reference something that we previously had open. Here in the History button, I can see a list of all the applications that I've connected to. They are listed in descending order with the most recent at the top. So to quickly go to any application, I simply select it, and there I am. This is particularly helpful where I need to leverage multiple enterprise applications and jump between them. So let's talk about the buttons located at the top of the bar. On certain applications, it's helpful to be able to move forward or backwards within an application. Web-based applications are a good example where this is helpful. In this instance, I'm navigating through a document management system and opening up Flash-based reports. I can use the forward or back button to navigate through the application. At this point, it's probably helpful to talk about some of the gestures that we have available to a user. Although the button bar is quite helpful, To-Go recognizes and uses a whole series of optional gestures. For example, just like I can use the forward button or backward button, I can do the same thing by just swiping with two fingers to the left or to the right. If we're in an application where pinching and zooming would be helpful, we can use two fingers to zoom into something for more detail and then pan around. Some applications have entire menu options that are generally available by using a right-click. With To-Go, you simply tap with two fingers and then select anywhere you would like to have that right-click menu. In this case, perhaps it would be helpful to have this data in Excel. If I need to select something to drag it around the screen, I can simply tap and hold and then move it around just like I normally would. Or if I need to select a whole section of text, or in this case, cells in Excel, I just tap and drag my finger to select the cells. Again, if I want to have a right-click menu, I tap using two fingers and then touch anywhere I want that menu. In this case, let's copy and paste these cells further down the spreadsheet. As you can see, I'm also pinching and zooming as much or as little as I need to make things easy and effortless. Let me show you a few more examples of how gestures work. To do that, I'm going to go back to the ERP application, and then I'll open up a purchase order window. When using some of the new gestures, it can be helpful to turn on the Show Gestures setting. With this setting turned on, it will map out and display any gestures that I do on the screen. If the gesture that I do is not one To Go recognizes, it will draw that gesture in red. So, for example, I'll scribble on my screen with my finger. See, it's red. However, if I do the checkmark gesture, symbolizing that I'm done with this window, then To Go will recognize that gesture, mark it in blue, and close it. If it's not obvious, the checkmark gesture is particularly helpful when working with various enterprise applications that spawn lots of windows or screens for data entry, etc. To Go uses the gestures whether the Show Gestures is turned on or off in the settings. There is a whole library of gestures that are available to users, and they can be found within the settings page. So now, let's talk about the keyboard button. The keyboard button can actually be quite powerful. Yes, it can open up the standard device keyboard, but often we need something even more powerful. Let's say, for example, that within an ERP application, we're accustomed to using function keys or multiple key combinations such as Shift plus Control, etc. For users who can benefit from a more comprehensive keyboard, they can turn on the additional To Go keyboards to support them. To make these keyboards available to you, you'll simply need to enable them on the device. To do this, go to the device settings, choose General, then Keyboard, tap Keyboards, and then Add New Keyboard. You will see that you'll be able to select the To Go keyboards here. In this case, I'll enable the US keyboard. Now when I go back to Go, where I have my ERP application, when I bring up the keyboard, I can see that I have the new keyboard I made available. Now I can quickly call up my purchase control requisition by pressing F4. Even multiple command keys can be used here. To toggle back to the standard iOS keyboard, I can simply press the small globe icon next to the spacebar, and going forward, I can bring up the To Go keyboard by pressing the same button. Also note that it isn't necessary to use the toolbar to always call up the keyboard. I can easily toggle the keyboard on and off by using a two-finger double tap anywhere on the screen. Now let's say that I'm on the road, and I want to enter in some details to an order page. If I were in the office, I would quickly type the details on my PC. But now that I'm on the road, how can I be just as functional? Yes, keyboards are available for me on my mobile device, but wouldn't it be easy if I could just simply dictate my notes from my device all the way into my order entry system, directly? Well, To Go lets me do just that by automatically integrating Siri to my enterprise application. Please ensure that this order is rushed and notify Frank Burton upon shipment. Now I can quickly jump from application to application where I can quickly and comprehensively enter in any details and notes. Hopefully this demonstration will help you in recognizing some of the features that To Go can help you in navigating and working with your enterprise applications.